All right, so so Congress is looking at something called the HELP Act, and Vox has a story on it, and it says a wave of evictions is coming. I think that should be are coming. Democrats are proposing a lifeline. Representatives Ayanna Pressley, Rosa DeLauro, I believe, and Senator Kamala Harris introduced a bill to fund legal assistance for Americans facing eviction. So there's a photo of somebody here with a sign saying Eviction Free NYC. America's looming housing crisis is here. The federal eviction moratorium expired last week, ending protections for about 12 million renters. A patchwork of state and local eviction moratoriums are elapsing or will in the coming weeks. And expanded unemployment insurance guaranteed by the CARES Act will also run out by the end of the month, eliminating $600 a week to millions of unemployed workers who don't have jobs to go back to right now. So that's the first part of the article. It's kind of just wrapping up the awful situation that we're in that was foreseeable. Other countries aren't, facing because their politicians actually give a fuck about their citizens and, public, seized control of certain things and took over payrolls and stuff and sent out more than one stimulus check. To try and ease this crisis, Democrats in Congress have proposed new legislation to help Americans facing eviction. On Tuesday, 3 corporate Democrats are introducing Housing Emergency's Lifeline Program, HELP Act, which will help provide funding so those at risk can access legal representation, and any eviction will do limited damage to renters' credit. So they're not proposing a HELP Act that would stop evictions, freeze evictions, keep people in their homes. They're doing this to give them legal help, lawyers, and representation in court so it won't affect their credit. So when they use the money they don't have to try to find a new place to live, it won't affect their credit. Housing is a human right, and in the face of impending eviction tsunami, we must take bold, urgent action to affirm that right and protect millions of families facing housing instability, said a corporate neoliberal Democrat in a statement. She also added that housing justice is racial and economic justice. As workers and families across our country confront an unprecedented financial cliff, Congress must act with urgency needed to prevent these mass evictions. Not like the urgency that they acted with the first day of the crisis when they were giving trillions of dollars to the stock market so rich people don't lose any money. That's not what the urgency was. That's not the urgency here. That's not the urgency here. They want to give them lawyers to help them not hurt their credit. $10 billion is going to be funded to states and localities? I've never seen that word before. For programs related to things like homelessness prevention and outreach. Why not just give them a fucking home? At any point in time, we could just end homelessness tomorrow. Trump could do it tomorrow morning. He could wake up and he could sign a bill, or he could sign an executive order guaranteeing housing to everybody. He could do it immediately. He could do it immediately if he wanted to. But no, we're doing this shit. Congress, they're going to try to pass this HELP Act. It's embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing. Looking at this, they all they're going to do is give people lawyers. They're going to give people the opportunity to defend themselves so they don't hurt their credit. They're not going to keep them in their homes, because why would we do that? Literally, it would save us money. It would save us money as a country, as the government would save money if they were to just give homeless people a place to live. Like, it's literally, there's been studies that prove that on every level, it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do because I don't have the numbers on top of my head anymore, but when I was going to run for assembly, one of the things that I focused on was homelessness. I did a lot of research on homelessness, and I found out that unequivocally the numbers make it so that we're actually losing money for the more homeless people we have. Like, there's 500,000 homeless people in this country, and we spend... It was between $35,000 and $55,000 a year on each one, even if they don't stay in custody for a long time. They're the ones that the police deal with, just on health care and removing them from places and the different things that they have to do to deal with the homeless people who are, using the bathroom on the streets, because where else are they going to go? Who are taking up spots, on corners and under overpasses and things, and the police go and they get rid of them, or they get arrested for certain things, or they just cost us so much money. And it would be roughly $25,000 per person to just give them a fucking place to stay. Not only would it give them a place to live, it would just, they could get back on their feet. Like if you take someone who, think about what you think of as a homeless person, or homeless people that you've seen. They're not clean shaven, they're not showered every day, they don't smell good, because they don't live anywhere. You take that person, you get them somewhere where they can take a shower once a day. They have a bed to sleep in. They can shave. They have access to a landline telephone. They can go get a job, because that job can now call them. And, oh, okay, hey, can you come in on Thursday for your interview? Oh, sure, I can. Because you fucking called me, and now I can go to the interview and I can get a job. And you can raise the minimum wage, make it a living wage, give these people the opportunity to get back on their feet. Homelessness is a problem that should not exist in this country. We are the richest country in the history of the planet. No one should be too poor to survive. We should be providing the basics. Everyone should have access to health care. Everyone should have access to college if they want it. Everybody should have access to mental health care. Everyone should have access to food. Everyone should have a place to live. You don't have to give them a fucking luxurious a resort or a 5-star hotel kind of apartment. Give them a bed. Maybe they share it with some people. Maybe you put 2 bunk beds, 4 people per room. That would suck. That would encourage them to work and get back on their feet. But to just throw them out there, oh, but you're being evicted, here's a lawyer, so we don't damage your credit. So that if your job comes back, which a lot of jobs are not, at least not yet. So if your job comes back, if you're lucky enough to get rehired, you'll be able to keep your credit once you start building up your savings again, and all the money that's involved in getting a new place to live. And you don't get a place to live overnight. You can't go to an apartment or go to a house that's for sale or whatever, and just like, oh well, we're going to move in tomorrow. That's not how it works. It doesn't happen. You're going to be homeless for months if you're evicted, unless you have somewhere to go, which not everyone does. Homelessness just shouldn't exist. There shouldn't be homeless people. Imagine you get into a huge fight with your significant other that you live with, and you have to go somewhere. Where are you gonna go? Maybe you live out of state from where you're from, where your parents live or whatever. You can go spend $150 on a hotel room for the night. They should have shelters for everybody all the time, no matter what. Hey, I left I'm in a toxic relationship. I live with my partner. I needed to get away. I'm gonna stay here for a few weeks. Okay, sure. Here's the keys to room 5. Good night. And this is why the Democrats lose. That's the end of my rant. I'm probably going to be doing a video tomorrow when Biden announces his VP. Not looking forward to that. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you.